Hi, day 5 is here, and you're doing so great. Let's keep this up. Today's theme is eating as ceremony. Eating our food can be sacred, can be a sacred act if you are present enough to enjoy yourself. So, when I eat in ceremony, when I think of eating as ceremony, I think of taking a moment to be with the food, the plate that I'm going to eat. I think about if there's protein in it, I think about thanking the animal for its sacrifice to nourish my body and give me protein for my muscles and my joints and collagen and just all those good stuff. If I'm eating veggies or rice or just everything. I look at every single item on my plate and I think about where it came from, how long it took to get to where it is today so I could on my plate, if that makes sense. So thinking about yesterday, the last meal I had was a zucchini, mushroom, chicken plate, right? Although I set intentions when I'm cooking, right? But when I sat down and ate it, I think about I give thanks for the chicken for nourishing my body, my muscles, my joints, every every bit of me, all the proteins, right? And then I think about the zucchini. The zucchini and the mushrooms were grown, they needed sun energy to grow. They needed water, they needed all these things. And so like that whole process, not only that, and think about the people who brought the food to the store and the store to my house, like that has a lot of energy, y'all. We don't take the time to like sit there and think about it. But if you just give yourself a moment to acknowledge all the energy that you are about to ingest and consume into your body and give thanks to it and to be grateful and to just be with that. That's super awesome. That's the start of a sacred act. And then when you take your first bite, I would suggest you close your eyes and feel all the textures, the heat, the warmth of all of it mixing inside your mouth and your how it moves around your teeth and what sounds it's making while you're chewing, just being so present, right? Enjoying the smells, the aroma of your food that's in front of you. When we do that, when I started to do that, I started to see how much fuller and satisfied I got rather than, before all of these embodiment sessions, this embodiment work, this really mindful eating, I would just consume Oreos until I was, stress eating. I am a recovered like binge eater. Sometimes it comes back to me, but now it's like when I have the practice of eating as ceremony, there's so much more intention and mindfulness that goes to it, and thus has me just feel so much more satiated, so much more satisfied, so much more fulfilled. And the more you do this, the more you'll start to see and recognize the opportunity that you get to choose the food that's on your plate. And you're automatically going to naturally want food with more sun energy, food with more, you're less likely to grab onto the chips or grab onto the processed food, the foods that were made in factories, because then you'll start to feel that staleness when you eat, right? And so this is a natural way of like not having to count your macros and your calories, but really having the intention to feel fully nourished with what you're ingesting. So, we going back to eating as ceremony. I get the food on my plate. I sit down with nothing else. My phone is away from me. I'm not listening to any podcast or anything. I just sit with the food. I bless it. I give it thanks. And then when I start to consume the first bite, I close my eyes. I feel all of the sensations that are going around. And then when I swallow, I take a minute. This kind of sounds like it's way too much, but it's a practice. And it doesn't hurt to try it. And once you feel and acknowledge the energy with the food and your communion with it, it's like, could be so powerful, right? So today's check mark off of the tracker is to bless your food and water. When we're, first of all, we know that we have power, or we're getting to know our power again with this challenge, right? We're getting to know our own energy. And remembering that, like, yes, we're here to make changes in our physicality. We're here to be consistent in our workouts and in our mindfulness. But when you really think about it, you are bigger than your physical body. Your non-physicalness, your energy is way bigger than just your physicalness, your body, right? Your body is a vessel to move you around and have you do things, but just acknowledge that there is a non-physical part of you that is just way bigger. Some people call this like your aura, they have many names for it, but we don't want to get way too into that. Just know that when you are doing this work, one of the practices that I'm offering to you right now is to notice the power of your words. And for those of you who have worked with me before, you guys know integrity is a huge thing. And we'll go to that later on in this month. But with integrity, that means your word has power. When you promise yourself that you're going to do something and you follow through with it, that gives you that sense of groundedness, that sense of power. You feel more in your presence. You feel more solid, right? You feel just so much more like yourself if you have integrity with yourself. So the power of word is you get to bless your own food and water before you ingest. There's this whole, and we can do the research about it. I can give you guys some links underneath this lesson today about the power of vibration, the power of words. I think you guys have probably seen on the internet, I forget where, maybe Japanese scientists or something, where he's spoken to trays of water and froze them. And if you send one love, then it creates a beautiful thing. But if you send one like hate, or if you neglect it, it turns into like a really not beautiful thing. Just looks like destruction, right? So our words have power. Knowing that there's water in our food, and when we're ingesting water and we're made up of water, using our voice and our intention and prayer before we ingest it can be so life-changing. Not only life-changing, but it kind of lets you remember who you are, right? And not have you live in the default of like, things are happening to me. You're reclaiming your power back. And I know I'm not trying to make this sound religious at all, but I want you guys to try it out today or for the rest of the month, right? And all of these lessons are just something for you to try on for the rest of the month. And by the end of the month, if you see changes and you like it, then you keep going. If not, then you say that you've tried it, right? So here's what I say to my water and to my food. I give thanks and bless this water to nourish my body and mind and to keep me aligned with my most radiant, connected, happy, healthy self. And so you can make that your own. You can say, I give thanks and bless this water to nourish my body and mind and keep me aligned with, you can say, my most confident, my most powerful, my most peaceful. Anything that you want to claim, you want that water to do for you, you can create that. So it's not every single time I say the exact same thing. Like, let's say if I'm not feeling my most confident, I would say confident. If I'm feeling weak, I would say my most strongest self, or my most, you know, my most strongest self, my most powerful self. It changes, and you're allowed to change all of it because your words are spells. I don't mean that in the woo-woo way, but I just mean that your words have power behind them. So I want you guys to try that on to see what that's like. And I'm sorry if this sounds too woo-woo, but don't knock it until you try it. Because you'll start to see a shift in your mindset when you get in the habit and practice of this. And you'll start to see how it changes your life and see how it changes how you view life. And that's actually what we're all doing right now, is just changing the programming of something that's more, the programming of our minds, subconscious minds, to be something more empowering, right? Giving yourself that sense of relief. Also notice that if you do that and something that's non-agreement shows up, that's also a good thing, because a non-agreement just means that you're purging. That's a purging, energetically purging of what's not aligned with what your intentions are. Okay? So this is like the most micro, smallest, teeniest, but very, very profound, impactful awareness that I'm asking. It's going to be good. And I hope that you're open to it. These are reminders again. Some of you guys have been messaging me using the personal messages inside the sanctuary, and it's been amazing. I have been loving being of service, and I have been being honored being of service to you guys and helping you guys coach and move through the spaces that you are in. So if you haven't yet, please reach out to me if you're dealing with something. I also know that withdrawing, like I said in one of the videos before starting this challenge, is that it's very likely that we withdraw. And once you see you're starting to withdraw, that's when you want to reach out to me. Okay? You will feel so much better, I promise. And I also work better with feedback. Like, I love making you guys these videos every day, but the real work is when you reach out to me and not only do the things that, you know, that the lessons are giving you opportunities to do, but and also debriefing with me. I can hold space for you to get a deeper sense of it and for you to understand it more. So I work best with feedback. I tap into your energy to see what you need, and then most of the times is exactly what you need. So with that being said, also share yourself. All of you guys are also very powerful and very intuitive about this type of stuff too. I'm not like the only one here. So please share yourself. I love that you guys are commenting in, in the lessons, what you're getting and stuff. I really appreciate that. I'm sure a lot of people that are also on there appreciate that and can resonate as well. As far as live sessions go, I'm leaning in towards like evening time around like 5:30, 6:30 maybe on a weeknight, or like a Sunday morning type of vibe. I'm thinking maybe like 10:30, 10:30-ish, or 11 maybe. What works best for y'all? And also, like, replays are always going to be available too. But the whole point of those live sessions is to tap in and to work together, right? Just like I said before. Also, reminders, it's okay not to know what you're doing. This is non-linear work, meaning yes, this is a structure, but inside the structure, your feminine and your non-linearness is going to work for you. There's like things shifting and moving with your intention and in your commitment that you don't see yet. And it's okay not to know. Your brain might be like, what is this? What is that? It's good that you're curious because that means that you feel safe enough to be curious. But like when you feel not curious, when you feel like you need to know right now, like there needs to be an answer or something's wrong with you, like I'm just saying it's okay. It's okay to be in that space because you're on the right path. And when you're in that space, you might be more motivated to try on new things. Does that make sense? And that's perfect. Also, being in full communication is very important to your success in the results of this challenge. Like I said before, please reach out, use this space to co-regulate. I'll talk more about, the polyvagal theory and regulation, self-regulation, all that stuff later on in the month, but that just means that use your community. You're not alone in this. Okay? I believe in all of you. I believe in you. You can absolutely do this. You are worthy of having a sparkle transformation. You are worthy of everything that you committed to since day one. Okay? You are worthy of feeling great in your body. You are worthy of feeling phenomenal in your life. You are worthy of vibing so high and smiling all the time that it lights other people's up. Okay? You are meant to sparkle. I believe in you. You got this. So let me know in the comments section down below. What has eating as ceremony given you? What doors open for you? Maybe for some of you, it unlocks like an acknowledgement to your ancestors or where you came from, and it unlocks like an acknowledgement of like how unconscious you've been eating. So if anything shows up, all of it is considered great because that awareness is what we're practicing. You guys got this. Much love to you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Or in the DMs. Yay!